set up and going here. Just gotta get the TikTok people TikToking for me. Wow, I can't believe that always happens. Okay, so actually this is one of my favorite characters actually talk about, man. I'm getting into Ashley Barrett today. And Ashley Barrett, for a lot of reasons, has a lot of like life as a character, man. Like I really mean that about Ashley. That this is a character, like she was interesting on a show that was supposed to be entertaining. She absolutely was that. All right, so I'm using my tablet. I got a new tablet, by the way, to monitor my YouTube stream, right? I don't know if that's going to work. We're going to see. So I want to slice into who Ashley Barrett really was, because Ashley, man, I didn't necessarily believe that Ashley was going to be one of the people to make it up out of the end. Like, Ashley living through this thing, that also wasn't supposed to happen, right? Let's remember that Ashley was not supposed to have lived. Like, they literally had the moment when they were like, yeah, kill everybody. And Ashley was in the kill everybody. In fact, not only was Ashley in the kill everybody, they were specifically looking for Ashley. Like, if you guys remember that must have been like, man, that must have been like season 3 or something like that, where Ashley finally was like, I got to get some V. Like, when she took that V, it was like a crucial moment, right? So Ashley, I have dubbed as Mrs. I'm going to do what I got to do, man. I'm going to do what I got to do. And that's who Ashley is. And she's had some mixed results because of the whole, I got to do what I got to do belief system, right? Like, did it work out for her? I mean, I can understand why she took that path. Right, I get why Ashley did exactly what what she did. But, look, in those moments when you're faced with Homelander, like, what you gonna do, man? Let's be really honest about it. So let's talk about, like, I wanted to talk about Ashley. Oh, thanks for everybody stopping in. Thank you. I wanted to talk about Ashley before she even got power, because this kind of sets her up, man. Like, Ashley was always this corporate climber, right? Like, she reveals in herself she was always like running for student body. She was always desperate for approval. She gave herself up. She talks about like incidents in her teenage years or young years where she's kind of like, allowing herself to be humiliated a little bit for acceptance. Like, that was 100% Ashley. Not physically powerful, not wealthy, not respected, but she survived by being able to read the room. Like, she is a master of, in that real time, I suppress whatever emotions I have and I adapt to the room. That's who she is. Like, that's her core. Ashley is almost a product of the system, right? When we look at her in this ecosystem, she's almost a product of the system itself. Like, she is an inevitability for this world that produces these kind of yes people, right? That's who Ashley is. Now, her greatest power actually isn't strength at all. It's just survival, right? That's why I've dubbed her Miss I Gotta Do What I Gotta Do. I don't know if you guys probably don't remember the song. It's a Tupac group, Thug Life, and they would say, Thug Life, I gotta do what I gotta do. That was Ashley. Ashley is the most adaptable person that existed in this universe. And I'm going to be honest, when she first got a hit of that V, I thought it was going to manifest itself in a completely different way. I didn't think she'd have a mind reading, head on the tumor or whatever it was, right? I didn't think it was going to be that. I thought she'd get some type of like adaptation ability, right? Because look, she makes it through everybody, man. She survived Homelander. She did, right? She made it up out of there. She survived Homelander. She survived like corporate purges. There was always that going on. Public scandals. She had all the executives who were above her. She outlived them. She got any soups that were below her. Like, everybody around her dies, or they get fired, or they get exposed. Not Ashley. She just slipped through that thing constantly with this with this bizarre, like, excited look on her face. That's classic Ashley to me. The reason why I have this here is because this is classically Ashley to me. That's the face that I always want. This needs to be etched on to, like, whenever she goes, this is the image we want to remember of Ashley. That look right there. That, like, and because Ashley did enjoy this. Like, Ashley was not pure. Like, okay, like, there's a part of Ashley where she was so ingrained in that culture that it felt good to be the person dispensing pain. So this is who Ashley became, and we got this about Ashley, right? So let's not move off of that. Now, psychologically, she's very much a fear-driven person. She is approval seeking, she is status obsessed, and she herself is deeply insecure. That was Ashley, like, in a nutshell. So everything that she does comes from this positioning of fear. That's 100% with Ashley. It's not necessarily even greed, nor is she evil. And in fact, her tumor side kind of revealed that she really wasn't evil. She's really not evil. She would rather things not. I want all the same perks. I would just rather that you guys just not do the evil stuff. But if you do it, I gotta do. So she's constantly just in this mode of what do I have to do to survive? So when I look at Ashley, I'm like, yeah, she desperately wants to have authority. This is important. This is a major theme in her, is like she wants to have power. But repeatedly, she gets this new, levels of power, and then discovers that the power itself is a trap. Like, when Matt, like, okay, everything is cool when you're working under Madeline Stillwell, right? It's a little tough, right? You were her Ashley, and you would get another Ashley, right? But when she dies, killed by Homelander, by the way, right? And now you get that position, you just stepped into that box that she was in. You didn't know it was a box. You thought it was freedom, but it was actually a Homelander box, right? So that's who she is. So this becomes problematic because your relationship with Homelander is the centerpiece of, like, her totality. He's your boss. He's your abuser. He's a source of validation. He's also your source of abject terror. Like, on a daily, like, he scares the shit out of you every single day. So how she moves in these spaces, like, man, it's uncanny the way that she's able to survive in these places. But she has these survival patterns that most of us don't. Like, she developed these survival patterns where with Homelander, both I fear you, but yet I need you at the same time. And that's why she stays, okay? So what we see with Ashley is this person who is constantly on a moral decline. Every day it gets a little bit worse. Every day. Every day you're doing something, man, even more despicable and disheartening than the last couple of days in which you did something disheartening and despicable, right? You cover up crimes. You lie for these fools down at Vought. You sacrifice other people. It is what it is, right? It's a dog-eat-dog world. I'm wearing bacon pants, man. She protects herself first. This is what she's good. It's an interesting question. That, like, Ashley, like, is Ashley good or bad? That's an like Ashley's not that. Ashley is like, what? I'm down for whatever. I'm down. I will do whatever it takes. And that is the most dangerous person around. The person who has no limits on what they're due. She's not evil. It's like, how much evil can an ordinary person do before they're not evil themselves? Because you justifying a whole lot. And it's sometimes, if there is no bottom for you, then there is no bottom. And that's the scarier part. Somebody who doesn't have bottom, you'll do whatever you want to do, man. For whatever. That's who you are. And that's what's scary about Ashley on a lot of levels. Because we see you go right along with it. Now, in the end, like in that last episode, she did kind of put him on tilt, right? She helped him go in the right direction, right? She offered her assistance and then ran and was like, I'm not in it. So she still wanted those guys to win. So she wasn't completely corrupted. Ashley shows guilt, right? She does. Ashley actually has a few moments where she's trying to put the brakes on. She's like, hey, guys. Hey, Sage, this shit sounds crazy. Or, hey, Homelander, they don't want to have a new guy. Like, she did. She would flip it. She'll flip you, right? Like, she'll flip you faster than anybody else. But she has those moments where she shows guilt. She shows empathy for other people. She hesitates, right? Like, we know that Ashley likes to get a supersized, right? And punish people. That's a part of who she is. And that's the look in her face. When she sees something about to go up, I think that's the moment. I think this look on her face is when Homelander told the Deep to blow A-Train. I think that's that moment. You see that look. I don't even, like, she's a brilliant actress because I've never seen anyone hit that face, make that look so like wanting and excited and like we all in one expression. She sums it up. I can only call this expression the Ashley, okay? Now, she's doing all this stuff because she's a frightened human being who is trapped inside of a monstrous system. She herself is not a monster, at least like not really, right? So there's a lot going on there. Now remember, her arc, it's a huge arc. Like Ashley takes a huge arc with like very little redemption into it, right? Ambitious employee, corporate survivalist, person realizing that survival may have cost her soul. You made it to the White House, but what did you give up? So with the boys, like the way this show is written, every character kind of represents something, right? Like, and Ashley, you're us. Like, Ashley represents any of us and what we would do when it's like, man, it's a clear-cut case of me or him. I'm going to kill you or you're going to kill that person over there. And you're going to do what you got to do. And this is what she was. She wasn't the mastermind. She was a person who just kept the machine running. I just got to keep on doing what I got to keep on doing, right? Like, intelligence-wise, she's cool. No courage at all. Very psychologically unstable person, like just be, but she's one of the key characters here because most people are like Ashley. Most people just hope I get that good job and whatever happens, I just gotta like keep my mouth shut, right? That's who she is. But she's a beast, man. Like I'm telling you, man, she was a middle management like striver. She did everything. Ashley was hungry for that validation. She was always on the grind. She let everybody know she was morally flexible right off the bat. She was like that. She was more afraid of being irrelevant. Like the fear wasn't even Homelander might kill me. The fear is I lose access to all this, right? So that's what Ashley really feared the most, was just not being relevant. And again, you know, like again, I think they used the characters kind of brilliantly. Again, this is a woman in this male-dominated kind of nightmare system where sometimes on your first day, they're like, you're about to get orally raped. Or however they do that. You're going to get violated on the first day here. Welcome to the job, baby. So this is the environment that you're in. You got crazy soups, literally. You got execs that are out of control, that have no restraints on them. You have predators. You have big egos. You have walking lawsuits with laser eyes. So being nice wasn't really the thing to do. Like being cooperative, like being useful, like that's it. I just got to give these guys a reason to not kill me. And that's what Ashley always seemed to come with. Now, most people stop with Ashley about her fear. She's selfish. But what she does to the story is a little bit differently, right? Because Homelander, this is how we get to look at unchecked power. This is what happens when someone has become so powerful that the rules don't apply. And you see how quickly, like they say, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Homelander was like immediately, never a thought of, I got tormented and beaten as a child. I'm never going to allow this to happen to any other child ever in the world. I have the power to make sure this never happens to any child in the world. That's not where he went to. And that's just as reasonable as I want to laser beam everybody, right? So we know that. Butcher, of course, shows us when you like give into revenge. That it can't be a good story because you're giving into revenge. And we know that. That's kind of a classic kind of, you can look at like Star Wars writing, talking about vengeance and like the Sith way. Starlight represents this, like this consciousness. She is this kind of naive goodness and she survives through it. Like she has to ultimately fight back against corruption, which is why she becomes the counterpoint to Homelander. And Ashley's just compliance. That's it. I'm just compliant. I'm not a coward necessarily. I'm not necessarily weak. I just give up to everything, man. And historically, you got to have people. Every dictatorship needs that. Every corrupt corporation needs Ashley. Every abusive organization, you got a couple of Ashleys working down there. The problem is that they're rarely monsters, but they facilitate for the monsters. And you know what? I need a check, man. I got to pay my check. This is above my pay grade. I don't have any choices here, right? This is coming from upper management. Someone else is gonna handle it if it was wrong, right? So this is what makes her terrifying, is because we all know either somebody like Ashley or we're like Ashley. Like, she's not Stormfront, but she's like, yeah, I'll do what we got to do to put Stormfront out front there, right? That's really Ashley. So that was who her function was, to manage, excuse, normalize, make sure the profits come in, and just keep your nose above water, man. You know, and the thing about it is, like, I liked Ashley, man. She had a nice, like, her hair. This was a cold shot because Ashley loses her hair over the course of the series. Let me see if I can find like an image. I don't know if I want to bring this up, but over the course of the series, she starts losing her hair, right? And we know what it looks like, man. In the end, it gets really bad, right? And it just exemplified like what was really going on in her noodle brain, man. Like how it was all manifesting inside of her. And I think it was well done. I think we got it, right? I think we looked at it and we were like, yeah, I totally see. Why didn't you say over here? What's going on? I totally see what's going on with you, Ashley. Like, it wasn't just, you know, the stress. Like, we kind of look at it as stress, but it was corruption, man. She was being like eaten away, man. She was losing herself to this corruption. That's what was going on with Ashley. Like, look at her hair there, vibrancy in her eyes, right? Like, yeah, somebody's about to get a big, you know, that's who she is here. And by this time, man, she's like, she's a shell of that. So like, this is her giving up herself for this corruption. That's not so different than what you would see a Sith Lord ultimately looking like. Something like this, right? So this is where Ashley is operating from. It's not stress. It's that this compromise is having a cost on her. It is like what she's doing, what she's going through, it is hurting her. It 100% is hurting her. And this is where the price that Ashley was, you know, she tried to keep herself together. She was vain. So the deepest thing about Ashley is like, she just kind of has been able to privately agree with the worst people at all, right? She has no, think about it, surviving in this world though. She has no laser eyes, she can't fly, she can't punch through walls, but she remains relevant and among the most powerful people in the story at all times because she's able to do things because she knows stuff. Ashley's kind of a merchant of secrets. She knows secrets, she knows scandals, she knows the cover-up, she knows the financial arrangements, she knows the internal politics, she knows everyone's weakness. So she becomes information, and that information allows her to predict. So she survives because a lot of times she knows which way the wind is blowing before everyone else does. She's subtle. Like, she'll pick up on stuff and be like, "Oh, okay, think you're gonna kill everybody down here," and not flinch and not even tip her hand at all that she knows what's going on. So that was her greatest asset. She also had access. She could call anybody. Execs, she had them on speed dial, right? Politicians were right in her wheelhouse. Media outlets on a daily basis. Soups, I got you, right? Security teams, like Ashley was quietly plugged into everything and she absolutely used it all. Most people can't get into that room. She was already running that room. That's enormous power. Like, Ashley was still an enormously powerful woman. And the thing about it is she also could control narratives. Like, when something was going down, this was her big asset for Vought. If something's going down, you need somebody to lie about it, call Ashley. She'll get, not only will she flip the story, she'll get it to be something good. She can control the story about reality. So when a soup kills someone, her job is to like cover it up, to reinterpret the death. So she shapes perception on this massive scale. And these perceptions can drive stock prices, elections, public opinion. Like, that's actually a superpower that she has. Brand loyalty, all that stuff. So in this modern world that she's functioning in, she's got a lot. Her power and her knowledge, like, it's not a joke. Like, outside of Homelander belittling her, she got it. She was on point with everything that she was supposed to do, and she was very successful. She had crafted herself to a level of legitimacy in this world. She controlled meetings, like the boring stuff, meetings, policies. She was all locked into that. And given her ability to adapt to whatever, that's what really was the source of her power. It was key insight. She didn't possess the power, but she would borrow it. And she understood this, that she was different. As she rose to these different ranks, she understood, like, the lack of permanence, that this power can come and go. So I'm always grinding for that next leg up. I'm going to put you guys behind me, and I'm going to get a little bit more on you. So she exists to do all these things. She's always afraid, but she understands that Homelander is still going to operate the way that he has to operate. You have to be able to suppress that. So she's constantly terrified because she can always lose her position. And that became more important than even losing her life to her. So she represents the kind of power that most of us kind of get in life. Most of us don't run into Homelander, right? Although I know a guy named Jimmy Homelander. But no, most people don't meet a king like this and a superhero. They meet people like Ashley, a manager, a director, spokesperson for a company. Like, that's kind of how she's going to move. She has proximity to true power, and she leverages it. So this is kind of the core of her. Her core fear is that she was powerless. Her other fear is that she's afraid of being humiliated because of things in her childhood. So she fears exposure. She fears being made to look weak or embarrassed, publicly diminished. That's really what drives her being disregarded. In this world, you have to be useful, and she found that out like pretty quickly. So Vox treats people a certain way, Supes treat people the same way, executives treat people this way. So she's like, I'm not gonna be replaceable. I'm not gonna be expendable, and she knew that. So that's what drove her. In terms of what did she really love, it was just the power. It was the security of the position, even though it was like the promotion wasn't the goal, but safety, or should I say insulation from all the bad stuff, was actually what it is. And Ashley is like, her core belief is like, well, as long as I stay useful to them and I do what they say, they'll keep me alive. They'll spare me. And he got her through it. Like, she lived. She's still alive right now. So she thinks that, work harder, solve the problem, move forward. Like, it's all mentality for her. The true tragedy comes is that, Homelander didn't really even reward usefulness. It's just really obedience. And even then, we saw with Firecracker that even obedience just is not enough. So Ashley, like, it's a psychological trap what she found herself in, is that she was always trying to survive, always trying to get through, and always it's this like take on it that brings her back. That she's lucky she didn't end up being boxed out by Homelander, but again, him was her abuser boss. He teaches her that fear is more important than competence, and you can see her lessons translate. That loyalty doesn't guarantee any kind of safety, and that success itself doesn't guarantee safety. So she was learning from him. She was learning the rules. She learned a lot from Madeline Stillwell, obviously, who was her predecessor. What she gets from Madeline is like the whole corporate, like observing the success, how a woman pushing through in this environment, she mastered it. Now, her thing with A-Train is that they hated him because like she had to play by the rules, but he was constantly breaking the rules, right? And she would have to go through all these things to cover up for him. And the same thing, like the Deep was kind of more her counter. I think the Deep was kind of the biggest counter to her because he's Ashley, but dumb. Like, he doesn't have her competence, but Ashley and the Deep have, and she has better, skills than him as far as social skills. So, Ashley's kind of in this internal conflict with herself. Her real battle isn't against Homelander. It's about the version of herself that she becomes to exist around him. So that's in a nutshell who Ashley is. In the beginning, she's like, I'll do everything. I'll be okay. And that's what she takes. She takes it to the next level. By the middle, like, she's like, whatever, I can do this. And she's down, fully commits after she gets that V. So at the end of it, like, her change was as much physically. I don't think she changed much as a person. That's kind of the thing. Like, she's still kind of a sad story because, like, okay, where are you going to work at now? Maybe she stacked up some money, but like, we can see why Ashley was so ruthless because of what she kind of seen. And she evolved with the system. She believed in the system, thought the system would protect her, and who can't say it didn't until the very, very end. So that's what I'd say about Ashley. I still think a very important character I wanted to dig into because I know a lot of people aren't giving her that time. But man, I wanted to kind of break down why she's more important, why she's so important, and what she does to move the story forward. So I'm going to dip out. I'm going to log off of here on TikTok, right? So I'll catch you guys tomorrow at TikTok. And or probably later today, actually. I should be back on later today.